I am presenting on finding success amidst chaos and struggles during the last 2 months of virtual teaching and learning. The background picture is from our camping trip with the Montessori program. So just so you know where that picture came from. I've been teaching at a Title I urban high school in Louisville, Kentucky for the past 2 years. And I've been with the Montessori program for the past 2 years. So the goal is to create a high school Montessori in an urban school setting, which, there's a lot of things that we have to work on, adjust to accommodate our students' needs. So throughout the slides, you'll see some of the products that came out of we call it NTI, non-traditional instruction. So these are the little clip pictures are from my students who produced those during the NTI time. So the challenges that we experienced during NTI or distance learning, whatever you want to call it, is the following: the student access to electronic devices and internet from home. Our district did the best they could to gather all the Chromebooks that are out in different schools, and they distributed to as many families as they could, but each family was only able to receive one Chromebook per household. That would put some stress and really obstacles out there for students, because some students had to share with a lot of siblings at home. So, and there were a lot of district guidelines as far as how we should do NTI, how we should require students to do certain work, how much work should we require, and there's a lot of different guidelines and requirements. So we had to, quickly figure out how we want to do this so that it will be as equitable as possible during this challenging times. So I personally we had 2 weeks before we started NTI. So I quickly, went to my social media and researched and read up everything I could that were being shared out, and whether it's Zoom or it's, something else that people are trying and using, because some schools had already started a distance learning in different parts of the world and different parts of the country. So I was actually thankful for that, to learn from their experiences. So another challenging thing is student working at different jobs. I have high schoolers, they have different part-time jobs. And then during this time, a lot of them had to work more hours, whether it's during the day or later into the night. And that was a lot of struggle for them, because they find it very challenging to manage their time and schoolwork, now doing it from home. Another challenge we faced was student check-ins. Every family has different situations to deal with. So check-ins sometimes can be challenging throughout the week. They were only required to check in once a week, whether it's sending in work or whether it's sending a message to teacher or email or commenting on Google Classroom. But one way or the other, they have to get in touch with each individual teacher. I found it very challenging because some students, excuse me, they either forget or they don't remember, or they got caught up on something else. They forget to check in with me. And so then I have to go through, all the phone numbers or emails and everything that I could try to get a hold of them. For the most part, I was successful at that because I didn't let that be a barrier for my students. If they didn't remember to check in, I reach out to them, reach out to their families, their parents, whatnot. And I think that also makes a difference in terms of how much they're willing to do for your coursework. And then also being flexible. I'm sure everybody's been really flexible during this time, but there's challenges come with that, right? You could be really flexible, but at the same time, you have to put limits. I put less limits this time around because I know it's something that we've never gone through, we've never done, and we have to try to be empathetic towards, students' family, home situations that I may know or may not know about. So the constant monitoring, though, throughout the days and nights and weekends and, phone calls, emails, messages, it's just very challenging. And I'm sure we all agree that finally, thank goodness we're done, which I know some people are still not done in some parts of the country, and I feel for you. I hope that you guys will be done soon. So these are some of the EdTech tools that I cannot teach without. Obviously the phone and the laptop. I'm thankful that I actually got myself a one, because the laptop, because anyways, it's like working so much better than some other products. I use iPhone, iPad, Apple product. You can see that I have here iPad, iPhone. You could screen mirror your feature. That's a feature on your iPad, iPhone. I screen mirror it to my MacBook, and then I could actually do work on my iPad or iPhone. And then students will be able to see it on the screen when I share my screen with them through Zoom, when I do one-on-one lessons or one-on-one help for them. And so Edpuzzles, these are all clickable. So I'm only gonna click on a few things. Dan already showed you how beautiful Edulastic is. Brianna, who's gonna be presenting after me, she's the one that introduced it to our staff and me too, when I taught with her at the same school. At first, I think, we're always, some of us may be hesitant, like, I don't know if I want to try this. I don't know, this thing at all. But I kind of took the chance and dived into it, and I never regretted my decision. This is the best decision I've ever made. And, the beautiful reports that you could see from Dan's presentation, you could tell, like, it's great. And another thing that I want to also praise, not to really, I'm not, like, I don't get money, get paid by Edulastic, and but I praise them for listening to teachers, what teachers need, what teachers want, in order for them to be able to implement it in the classroom for for students. So Edpuzzle, I'm just gonna click on a few things. Edpuzzle, I don't know if everybody knows about it, but if you know about it, I'm sure hopefully you like it like I do. It syncs with Google Classroom, which I've been using that. And I'm thankful for that because my kids are used to using technology. So transitioning from, the bricks and mortar kind of learning and teaching to virtual, that transition was smooth for my students. And I think we're all thankful for that. We didn't have to struggle about it or figure out how to work it. So you can see it syncs with Google Classroom, and every single class, it records how many students have completed which assignments. You see that not everybody has completed these assignments during NTI because I gave them choices. I gave them choice boards. So, which I'll explain in a bit. So that's kind of real quick about, what Edpuzzle is. It basically you can either record your own or use the videos that are online and you could even pull videos from like YouTube.
Catherine, I don't mean to interrupt you, but quick time check. You have just a few more minutes.
Okay, so just kind of let you know that, you could track their progress through Edpuzzles. And then, hang on, let me move this over. I knew this was going to be a challenge to get through all of them. So, so there's other tools that you can use for sure, and I'm not going to click on each one of them, but a lot of these are synced with Google Classroom, or you can post it to Google Classroom, which is a platform, and then you can track students' progress from there. So that's why I like those EdTech tools. And then you could see from here, I've attached hyperlinks, some of those choice boards. These are the things that my students produce, some of them. And then the feedback about choice board is very positive. They appreciate the flexibility, and they appreciate different varieties, different challenges, from easy to challenging. They create their videos, tutorials, and created math art, using different, EdTech tools. I also gathered their feedback by sending them weekly survey as well as end of course survey. And I have to say these are very valuable in terms of my adjustments, the kind of adjustments I made from week to week in my teaching online. And then as well as, how I'm going to do better for next year. So these are some of the feedbacks from the surveys that I conducted. I asked about how they're feeling at home because I want to know, what's going on as much as possible, as much as they're willing to share. And some of them share, really personal stories, which I really appreciate. And they also wrote like encouraging letters to each other. Um, and it's just very makes me really feel good as a teacher that my students have empathetic hearts towards each other, and they are willing to, support and build each other up. And so these are you can see the EOC evaluation is hyperlinked. Feel free to click on that. I think I've made them all the resources available. Anybody who has access to the link. So you should be able to access these once we share it with you all. But these are some of the feedback that I gathered from them. All the surveys are created through Google Form. So, and these are beautiful data from, Google Form. So I'm not gonna make you sit there and read it or read it to you, right? So I just wanna let you see how, their feedbacks have been for me. And as an educator, I can't emphasize enough that we learn as much, kids learn as much from us as much we learn from them. They all bring talents and qualities and knowledge that we may not have, and it's all about, supporting and growing each other. So that's why I have the growth. I'm sure math teachers have heard of Joe Buller's growth mindset. That goes for students and educators. And there's my Twitter handle if you want to, follow me so I can follow you back. Thank you all very much for coming. It's a great day to be together and learn.